Okay. Anybody hear me? Trying this again. Hoping this is better. Nobody's here. All by myself. Just wonderful. Valerie. Granny Monster. Anybody? Hello. Says nobody's home. Where are you? Yay! We're all here. Got the warm and fuzzies. I know. I know, Granny Monster. I was stressing. This is my first live feed, so I didn't actually know what I was doing. And I kind of look sort of dark here. Is it better here? 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 I don't know. Yay, me! So how is everybody doing? Anybody go out shopping? I went to the grocery store. Does that count? I bought cat food. That was my Black Friday sale. Emptied the cat litter. That was a big deal. I'm living a pretty kind of boring life right now. Oh, well, now that's fun. I like playing cards. Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? Hmm. I'm on my phone, so I'm not sure how to do that, Granny Monster. Do I need to hop on my laptop to do that? Wait, hold on. I see. Oh, nope. It's not giving me that. Click on your icon. No, it's not giving me that option. I'm probably not going to get any trolls. I'm not that big of a channel. Plus, I don't think anybody's ever seen me do a live, so let me try again. Do. Nah, can't do it. Well, hey, Cherish, how are you? So, where are you guys from? I'm here in North Carolina. It's cold. It has not started raining yet, but I think it's going to. Don't think it'll snow. I knew you were in Virginia. Cherish, where are you from again? Oh, I'm originally from Ohio too, Granny Monster. What part? Zanesville. I actually have friends in Zanesville. Sue Johnson and Steve Morrison. But unless you're as old as me, you wouldn't know them. Probably. Um, it's a pretty awesome little town. They moved to North Carolina too. Actually, I haven't been through Zanesville since they got rid of Buckeye Pottery there. Where are you from, Cherish? What part? You can give a region if you don't want to get a town. Woohoo! Fundraiser 261. That's a lot of granola bars in the backpack. Southeastern. Okay, like Athens area. Maybe Chillicothe. I was from Springfield originally. And Zanesville was named after Zane Grey, too, Granny Monster. Ohio history, 7th grade. Well, hello, AOK Foraging and Adventures. How are you? I like foraging and I like adventures. We're just all talking about where we're from. I wasn't going to go there, Granny Monster. I know, is that awesome? Once we get somebody on here who's not part of the fundraiser, then I'll go through the spiel again. See, like, I just don't know that I have any friends. And if I do have friends, they're probably poor as paupers. No, just kidding. Somebody will bounce on here. That's pretty awesome, though. 125 bucks. Gosh, if you ever need to quit your day job, you can always be a professional fundraiser. Yay, you! So I really am going to have to watch your channel. Chris and I are all about adventures. We spent 6 days in Scotland in September. Yes, if possible, I will. So, what's the latest adventure you've been on? Okay, don't everybody speak at once. Well, right now, this is an adventure. No, 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 no. Go ahead. Tell us your adventures. Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of that cruise vow. You know, that's it. You just put your head down and plow through it, Granny Monster. That's pretty cool. What area are you deer hunting in? People could deer hunt in my side yard, so I could have a garden next year. I think our German Shepherd Lincoln and the deer are on a first name basis. They just kind of wave at each other now. They've taken out a whole garden. A few apple trees. We tent camp, but we haven't tent camped in the snow. Mrs. Paul's. That's my kind of ice fish and Granny Monster. Do you know my son has a hammock that he never takes a tent in. He usually just camps in his hammock. I made him this mosquito net thing that kind of slides down over it. Okay. Open tarp. Mm, mm. Do they have ticks where you are? Tell you about Scotland. Well, if it weren't for the grandkids, Chris and I would move there. Hey, Mary, how are you? We are just talking about how Chris and I want to move to Scotland. We found our tribe. Did you hear the latest total, Mary? $261. How awesome is that? Well, come on. Wow. So no shopping for you either, huh? I think you guys should win a prize just for being on every live. Yeah, that's how I do mine too. Except for the cat food. I didn't buy that online. I went to the grocery. And I picked up food for the dogs. Chris feeds the dogs raw. And uh, I texted him and said I picked up dog food. Yes, Iron Fire Horse, I sure am. Tell me why your name is Iron Fire Horse. Well, anyhow, I texted Chris and told him that we had got the dog. I had gotten the dog food, and he thought I had picked up like dog food, so he brought more dog food. So everybody's got food. I'd rather be on YouTube and ignore the dust bunnies. I think some of those dust bunnies have turned into elephants here. But you know, the further you live out in the woods, the more dust you collect. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Well, maybe they send you shopping for, like, I don't know, like Yule Gibbons style, like foraging. We need some wild hickory nuts or cattails or tiger lily blossoms. You and my husband would get along great. He loves a good fire too. Don't even get me started. Well, let's see. What did I eat in Scotland? We had bridies, which are kind of a stuffed meat pie, and we had haggis. I did have haggis, and I didn't puke. And we have hickory in our backyard too. Um, we drank scotch. Chris is here. He's sitting right next to me. I can't tell you the fire story. You can't have fries in Scotland, Mary. They're called chips, and chips are crisps. Hi, Chris. Val says hi.
Hi.
Did you hear him? So I also drank this sweet syrupy. Mary says, "Hi, Chris. I need Uber." He laughed. Where in Scotland are you? We went all over, and I loved it. Iron Firehorse said he's from Scotland and he won't eat haggis. We didn't make it to Glasgow. I wish we kind of had. But we were in Edinburgh, Stirling, Aberdeen, and all the places in between. We were up in the Highlands. We were up in Loch Ness. What is it called? Abernez. Thanks for stopping in. Yay, Val. I think my winning streaks are over. So, if somebody is watching this and it's not the live stream, let me tell you what we're doing right now. Valerie Reese, and her channel is Valerie Reese by Iron Fire Horse, has a wonderful church that is so into helping others. Last year, I know they did Christmas stockings, close to 100 of them, if not 100 of them, I believe. And they used their church for homeless families so they could be together in the winter time. They pack backpacks so that kids can have food to eat during the weekend if they have free lunch. Um, they work at the soup kitchens. They adopt families in need. And last year at this time, I remember they gave just an awesome check to their pastor to go into the missionary fund, or the, I don't know, what do you call those, Val? What kind of fund is it? Um, because this isn't a line item on their church budget. This is all funded by the individuals in their Sunday school classes. And so they all came up with the idea of doing this live feed. And encouraging people to go to, okay, it's a fund for missions. Thank you, Val. um, set up this GoFundMe so that everybody can participate. Last Tuesday was Giving Tuesday, and so we're just pushing it to Giving Friday. And I am going to leave a link for the GoFundMe page in the description when I get done with my live. This is for the missions for their whole church. So it's in Richmond, Virginia. I love Richmond. If I didn't move to Scotland, I'd move to Richmond. Actually, I'd move to the mountains before I moved to Richmond, but Richmond's in the top 10. So anyhow, if you're watching this, any amount will help. Just click on the link below and help Val in her missions. Go to her channel and you can find, do you have a playlist, Val? Or do they just need to search your videos to see what you did last year? Oh, it was Pet Monster, Granny Monster, and Gail Crabtree's idea last year. So I just remember all the wonderful, wonderful things that went on last year. It was really fun. And I'm so thankful that I get to participate this year. Also, Val wants to mention that a $5 donation will get you in a drawing for a prize. And yeah, it was $300 donated last year. And they're hoping to double that this year. So I guess there's no playlist, but she does have a lot of videos from last year that show some of the mission work that they were doing. One of the really neat ideas, I think, is that for 1 week their church opens up to these homeless families, and most of them have multiple children, if I remember right, and they bring their mats, and the church cooks breakfast and packs their lunch, and then is there in the evening and cooks a nice hot meal for them and makes sure that they're comfortable and warm during the winter. And I just think that's such a great idea. You should put one together, Val. Granny Monster comes on at 2. That's another half hour. Do you know what this really shows me? That I probably did not miss my calling as a DJ. I'm sitting there going, in my mind it's playing, well, the ice roads are now open. You'd think I'd be able to talk more spontaneously. Val can tell you, I'm a talker. So we had 17 at Thanksgiving yesterday, but we only had one of the grandbabies, so that was kind of wah-wah, sad. But it was a very nice meal. And on the upside, Chris is brining a brisket. Brining a brisket? Is that what you're doing? Brining?
I'm making corned beef.
He's making corned beef. Okay. So I hope he does a video on that, because I think it's just one of the neatest things he's ever done. Well, in the top 25. He's done a lot of neat things. But anyhow, it wasn't ready for Thanksgiving, so he and I get to eat it. I'm very excited about that. And I picked up a bottle of wine to go with dinner, and Chris picked up a bottle of wine to go with dinner. So now we have 2 bottles of wine to go with dinner, not just one. I agree, Val. Mary says she needs a transmission in her car. Hint, hint.
Okay.
That, well, that's probably part of Leacris LLC. It's the good kind too, Val. It's Duplin. It's the kind I gave you last year for Christmas. Did you guys like that wine? Remember we talked about Duplin wine? And you said you didn't think you had had it, but that's the kind we gave you last year for Christmas. Mary's like, "Can I be on your Christmas list too?" Thanks for stopping in. Oh, that's a bummer. You might like this, Mary. It's very, very sweet. So, what's the weather in Alabama? Chris and I were watching some kind of travel documentary or something, and they had 52 degrees. Oh, must be nice. They had this place in Alabama where they threw rolls at you. Like, you went to eat there, and as soon as the hot rolls came out, they started throwing them for people to catch and eat. So, I want to go there. Yes, it was Lambert's. Are you near there? Was it fun? Oh, well, we went through Alabama a couple years ago. That was our only time in Alabama, and we were going to Texas. Driving to Texas. But we drive everywhere. We didn't drive to Scotland, but we would if we could. Hey, Val, we should put on our travels going to a Lambert's and having rolls thrown at us. Is everybody's Christmas tree up? Mine's not. I did take the wreath off my door and chuck it on the burn pile. Does that count? My Thanksgiving wreath? Alabama, Val. We're picking up Mary on the way. We'll probably have two trees this year, a small one in the living room and a larger one in the dining room. We have this exactly, Mary, road trip. Who's driving? I don't like to drive very much at all. Well, you all can take. Chris likes to drive, so you all can take turns. Except I can't sit in the back seat for very long, or I'll get the car sick. Keeping it real. So, we went up to visit my 99-year-old grandmother. Actually, she's 99 and a half almost. And so we were at my mom's memorial, and my grandmother leaned over in the middle of the service and said to my son, we can get up and walk out of here if we want to, because she thought the preacher was going too long. So then she told her preacher that if she talked that long at her funeral, that she was going to get up and walk out. And I told my grandmother if she walked out of her funeral, I was going with her. She's such a hoot. Okay, I'm 30 minutes in. How am I doing? My grandmother is hysterical. Does Steve get car sick, Val? Ah, okay. I think that's what Val and I have talked about it, Mary. I don't think I can do a cruise because I think there's just not enough sea bands and Dramamine in the world to get me through. I'd be that one person hanging over the side of the boat. You did get sleepy? Was it Zofran? Did you take Zofran, Mary? Ah, well, they had given me a prescription for Zofran before I went to Scotland and I didn't take it, but I did okay in Scotland. And like we did bus tours and drove around, so what's the longest trip I've taken in a car? Um well,
California.
California, that's right. We drove to California and back. We actually left California on Friday at like what, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and arrived back in our driveway here in North Carolina on a Sunday afternoon. So that was pretty insane. And it, the California, it was at Barstow, they have that sign that says something like Wilmington, North Carolina, 2000 what?
500.
500 and some odd miles. But then if you're in Wilmington, then there's a sign that says Barstow 200 or 2,500 and something miles. So we almost went completely across the country. That was pretty awesome. I've been to South Dakota. Val, have you been to South Dakota? Anybody else been to South Dakota? We went to South Dakota when we drove to Idaho. Let me tell you a funny story about South Dakota. Now, Chris and do not own a motorcycle. Let me just preface that. So we were driving a Ryder truck to a duck hunting ranch in Idaho for some friends of ours. Because we were delivering a boat. Yeah. We weren't delivering the Ryder truck. We were delivering the duck boat. So, anyhow, we're cruising into South Dakota, and I'm thinking, my gosh, there's a lot of bikers in South Dakota. What in the world? Look at it. And we pull into a rest area, and there's this wall of bikers. And so we walk into the rest area, and the woman's like, "Oh, are you here for Sturgis?" And at that point in time, because this was like 2000, 2000,
No.
2004, 3,
No, it was 2000.
2000. Um, and so apparently there was like 100,000 bikers, and Chris and I in a Ryder truck in South Dakota. So we were there for like, it was it the 50th anniversary or 60th of 60th anniversary for Sturgis, and we were there. Yes, it was something. It was quite the experience.
Tell them about the rest
Oh, we were in the rest area, and of course, it was like blazing hot because it was August, and we had the Ryder truck parked up there, and um, all these bikers were standing in the shade of our truck because in South Dakota there's like no big trees to hide under or anything. And so we felt so bad having to move the truck because they were so blistered and sunburned. And so then we went to this place called Wall Drug. Exactly. We did stop at Wall Drug, and we were like the only non bikers in there eating. Um, but we got to know some people from Canada that were teachers and principals who had just skipped school and come to Sturgis. And also, along the trails there, it says stay on the path at these rest areas because of poisonous snakes. And so Chris was teasing me, and I'd open the truck door, and he'd go like a rattlesnake. And so we opened the truck door one time, and we heard this, but it was the sprinkler system for the um, rest area. So that was a fun trip. We also saw the Corn Palace during that time. That was really corny. Mm-hmm. I don't think we went to Bear Country and Reptile Gardens. We went to some
we s-
Reptile Gardens.
I think we did.
Did we stop there?
I think so.
Oh, your mother-in-law lives near the Corn Palace? Oh my gosh. I tell you what, that was kind of bizarre. Idaho's another place we had lived, right along the Snake River Canyon. Except there were so many forest fires out there, we had trouble getting into some of the places we wanted to see and had to backtrack a little, but it was nice. So, Val, are you playing cards right now with your mom still? Hello? Is there anybody out there? Did any of you watch my 3-year-old grandson sing Cecilia? How crazy was that? He knew the words. I kind of wish they had taught him a different song, but he rocked it. What kind of cards are you playing, Val? Multitasking. I'm just drinking a cup of hot tea. Oh, you have to, Granny Monster. It is hysterical. He's got this little fake guitar, and he's like singing every word of Cecilia. We've never played Skibbo. Gee, Mary. Sore loser. Well, I got beaten Candyland the other day when we were in Mooresville. Everybody else was stomping through the Candyland, and I was going one space at a time. Welcome to my world. So, Granny Monster, how big was that turkey you wrestled yesterday? Okay, anybody. How big was your turkey? That sounds kind of crude, doesn't it? So, how big is your turkey? Whoa. Wow. Did you have ham to go with it or just turkey? 23 pounds. Man. Okay, was it 23 or 22? So it's kind of like a pterodactyl, not a turkey. I gotcha. Do you know Food Lion, which is our local store, fit, had turkeys you could get for 27 cents a pound if you spent $35 or something, which is like easy for us to do. And so I got two turkeys, and we've got one that we're going to cook this weekend. Ah, I see. I only spent like $3.60 for both turkeys. I mean, each a piece. But so yeah, Chris is going to make that brisket and corned beef, excuse me. And I'm going to do the turkey this weekend, and we'll just vacuum seal it and put it in the freezer, not cook for the rest of the year. Anybody deep fry a turkey? Ah, that's goodness right there. A deep fried turkey. Except today I was watching a vlog, and they had this indoor turkey fryer. It looks scary to me, but I mean, it's not like the old kind that you can do like low country broil in or Brunswick stew. It was just made for a turkey, but it didn't use as much peanut oil, I don't think. Any new gadgets for Thanksgiving? Any must-haves? Any little elves that came in and cleaned up after? We used paper plates at my mother-in-law. That was such a good thing because for years I got stuck washing the good china. So this year she went paper plates. Fire. Oh, that's nice. My father-in-law did a lot of the cleanup. He's real good about that. So we had turkey and ham, but there was not a speck of turkey left. But my mother-in-law makes the absolute best dressing, stuffing. Yeah. Can't trust moms these days, Val. We didn't have cornbread. I don't know what she makes it out of. Chris was going to send her an email and get the recipe so we could just make it. But I know when we were starting to leave, there were almost a fight broke out between two of our children over who was going to get the leftover stuffing. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Welcome. We're just talking about stuffing and how Val's mom cheats at cards. Oh, awesome. Well, that's really neat. Well, we're just really excited about the amount of money that's being raised this year. And I hope that there'll be folks watching later that can at least contribute if they haven't during my live. Of course, I'm not that $125 mark that forger and forging and whatever's forging and adventures. I cooked sweet potato casserole and pumpkin pies. That was my contribution. You too, Granny Monster. I'll be over at your channel in just a little bit. I guess she's got to get her makeup done and lighting situated. Pour a little glass of something to sip on. So, what's the next big project at your church? Is it adopting the children? Oh, that's right. I couldn't figure out how to do a mod. Well, you know what? I will watch YouTube videos on how to make people moderators by using my cell phone, Granny. This will not happen again. Those are some wonderful projects. Well, I'm going to sign off of here and probably make myself some lunch. Thank you all for visiting with me, and I will see you all at Granny Monster's channel. You can go to Valerie Reese and find that, and I'm going to put mine in the description, or their links in the description below, so that if they post their live, then everybody will be able to see them. So y'all have a great day, a fine day, all day long.